Hello friends, how's everybody doing? It's your friend Jeff, playing Ultimate General Civil War with the J&P 1.28.4T6. I think in T5 they made an MG Light, which I don't play MG anyway, but I wanted to test it out and I did. And I wanted to just show you some abnormality that I ran into, which is kind of interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and load up. It's right here after the camp of this. But I'm going to go ahead and capture the train station again to see if it duplicates. Because if it doesn't, then I don't know. Like I guess I could load this and show you what I'm talking about. So let me go ahead and load it. So this is right after the battle, and then I saved the game. So as you can see, I didn't pick my perk and stuff like that. This is where it ended up. Now don't forget, when I play this game on the J&P thing, I set all the defaults to the base game of what the base game is, the vanilla game. But for the first battle of each campaign, I changed the historical number from 1 to I think I set it to 4. And then on the historical experience of each unit, South and North, just for this one battle, I set that to I think a 3 or a 4 on their experience. Now I don't know if that screwed up something, but the thing I wanted to show you is right over here. So normally, after a battle, you have, especially with the J&P, you have up here, you have your veterans would be maybe 128 or 400 or something, right? But as you can see, I got 12,845 veterans. Now I talked about this maybe a month ago when I did this, and then I haven't played it since. But I talked with Johnny and Panda, and they didn't really have a good explanation for it. So I think Johnny made a kind of a funny comment where he said, somehow I benefited from the AI's units, ally units, and he gave me all their veterans for their deployment. So I mean. So if those things add up to 12,000, because like I said, I can load something. I'll show you. Okay, so again, don't forget these things here that you see here is only because I put a 4 under historical numbers instead of a 1, and it's only because I think it was Gonzo or somebody that told me about this, that if you wanted to have a good start in the campaign and have lots of rifles, because if I go over to here. And you can see that, I captured a bunch of units and stuff, and I have, look at this, 3,600 Mississippis, 1,200 of these, the 55s, and the reboard, I got 5,000. I mean, even if I would've, and then again, if I go to, let's see where I go, career. In a career, you can see how I started out with 2 medicine, 3 in training. Army org is only 2, and then we get 2 here to pick, but after this first battle. But you can see logistics of 2, and only reconnaissance of 1. Let's see, what else can I say? If we go over to here, you can see that it's Major General Light. Okay, so it's not regular Major General. It's a lighter version of, and this is a new difficulty that Panda and Johnny made for us, because like I said, I'm not generally a MG player, because at some point in the campaign I always get bogged down in it, and I just don't have the patience for it. But anyways, so I just wanted to show you this. You can see here that, and then look at this, right? Because I put a 4 under historical numbers, you can see that the Confederates had 55,000 and I had 39, which is a total of me and my ally friends. So it's kind of hard to judge exactly what happened. But of course, I changed the config slightly because, like I said, I don't want an AI unit larger than 2950, which was what the original game had. And I don't want any of my units larger than 2500, which is what the original game had. And that's the constraints that I put on this. But you got to realize that in some of the 38 battles, the numbers are going to be much higher than that, regardless of what is set of putting a restriction on them, because those battles are configured that way and has nothing to do with it. So, but that's generally what I do with the J&P, because I used to do that kind of stuff with the UI mod, Panda's UI mod. But again, but the J&P one has a lot of stuff in it, so it allows you to do a lot of changes and different things, and so that's all I'm talking about. So again, I would scrap all these units, and then all these numbers would go into the veterans of that. But okay, so let me just for comparison of trying to understand this, that I have 12,000 veterans in my pool, which I should not have. Even by doing the historical numbers, I should only have like maybe 100 or something there to work with. And then, but of course, once I scrap these, and then don't forget, after I do this, for the second, third, fourth battles, whatever, I'd have to change the config to be back to historical number and put it to a 1. So it would be like a normal campaign. So I mean, because there's no way I could do this and stuff. And so then I scrap all. But anyways, I'm just going to show you. So normally the reason I would do that, again, to summarize, is, and then don't forget, I would not have 12,000 veterans in here. This was just a gift of some kind. I don't know, and I know I can't duplicate it. Like whatever anomaly this was, I know I can't. Now I may show you. Okay, so let's. So now that I got that out of the way, let me go ahead and load, and then you can see Major General Light North, Major General Light South. So if an A just means that it's the second part of me in the camp, meaning this should be ready to go into the next battle. So the A's should be ready to go into the next battle if I go to the campaign. But okay, so this was the train station. So then, so yeah, okay, so here, right here, South Camp, Major General Light, South 1, which is the camp. So if I load this, I'm going to show you the opposite, meaning of, instead of showing you the north where that abnormally happened, I can show you the south where that did not happen. So let me just go ahead and load that. And it's all yeah, I mean, it'll all be lost, of course, but whatever. So let's just go ahead and load that for just a moment. So again, this is the point of where I just came out of the very first battle, and I put the historical number size up to 4, and I put the historical experience, it was either a 3 or a 4. And I don't know if by doing that, maybe the config doesn't understand the 3 or 4 under experience. Maybe this must be some other setting that goes there, or maybe not. I could be wrong. But maybe that's, but the anomaly didn't happen here. So if I go show you here, see, this is what normally, now forget, let's say you played any difficulty, right? Not just this MG light, or you did MG, or you did, brigadier or colonel. What I'm saying is, even if you didn't do, if you kept the historical number size to 1 and you just did it normally, like just open the campaign and do it normally, what I'm saying is, after the battle, of course you're not going to see this gigantic stuff here because this is a setting of 4, And so Siegfried was whatever he was, like, you know, yeah, he had 2,734 kills, and he lost 400. So add the 400 to his size, and that's what he was. As far as Kemper goes, you know, Kemper only lost 123. So if you add 123 to 5960, but he had 2,100 kills. And then Cable, he only lost 7 of his 47. So add the 7 to the 47, and you'll have his full size that he was in that battle. And he had 476 kills. I didn't do as good with him, but and so again, the only reason of putting, you know, a 4 or 3 or 2 in the historical size number is to have these guys bigger than what they should be, only so that way, because if you look at this, if I scrap him, right, and then again look at here, like this is normally what should happen. All right, so you do the first battle, regardless if you messed with the config of making it a historical number 1, you know, keep it at 1, which would be normal. You're still going to only end up with maybe 76 veterans. And so all I'm trying to say is the anomaly didn't happen in the CSA South campaign, because I did both of these campaigns, and I set them up the same way as far as what I chose. Like, you can see this is the same as the Union that I did. I didn't make any variation. And again, I have 2 points to apply, and I usually would put, well, I would like to have 1 here, right, and training, or army org. I'd have to do that, so that way, I'm not going to set it, but just getting back to the point. It appears that I can have 4 units here, and I can make a thing here. Now, barracks-wise, nothing here. And I only got this amount of money. And like I said, once I scrap these guys, right? Like, and I ain't going to save this, because, you know what I mean? This is just for purposes. Like him, if I scrap him right now, and then I scrap Kemper, right? And then look at this. Like I said, I'm going to have 5,930 of these rifles in the camp once I scrap him. And so there we go. We got 6,000 of these. So artillery-wise, we now have 61 of these. And all that does is help. And I'm going to have to end up scrapping him too, even though, you know, I could make a perk here and say, well, my general is going to have accuracy, so I would give him accuracy. But again, there's no way that you can see that I can't do anything. I'm limited to what I could have in my configuration. So, I mean, I'd have to scrap him anyway. And now we have Preston here. And then I would go ahead, and then we have 2,500 here, and I only have that amount of money. But again, you'd have to change the config back to historical 1, obviously, and you can't have, you know, gigantic units like this. But if I say, like, suppose I didn't want these rebores, you know, that's about that amount of money. If I didn't want these, that would be 12,000. Add up to that, and then I would compromise. I would make my units with these weapons here. And as far as artillery goes, I probably wouldn't make that. I wouldn't make that. I would make some of these. I would use this weapon here only because I got a bunch of them. because I captured some that was in the battle or whatever, and I scrapped him. So now when I look over here under veterans, instead of having the 47 that was there, I now have 12,418. So that means I can use those veterans and some rookies to make my units and stuff. When you first make a unit, you can see that if I were to make an infantry unit, and say we take, let's see who's the best. Yeah, so if I actually skip him, and if I go with Kemper, and let's say I give him the MG, this weapon here is a good melee weapon, and it's still a good shooter, not the best numbers, but nonetheless. You have, and then again, okay, so in the JP mod, I can show you right here that they made the minimum infantry in the config 850. This is so that way you can't get better experienced units quicker. But I put it to what the default is in the vanilla game, like the original game, which was the lowest infantry unit you could make was a 500. And that's the way I set the config up. It's just the way I play it. It's the way I like to go back to the original game, except I'm getting all the benefits of the J&P mod. So again, it's going to take away from the recruits, right? And it doesn't cost us anything because we're picking a gun that we already have because of doing the configuration thing. So if I do that and I equip him, and then I can go to veterans, and now it's going to pull them. And so now I only have 8,600 rookies. But if you see up here, you know, I still got the 12,418 veterans, which have better numbers than what the recruits have. And then don't forget, this is going to cost me money. So I'll just show if I start adding them. And so now already, just because of the 500 thing, it just takes 112 or whatever to jump him to his first perk. Now, if I had it at 850, I'd have to get up. I'd be starting out at 850, and then it would probably take me to 1,000 to just get that first perk. And all I'm saying is, I just like the base game the way it is. I don't like gigantic numbers. And most of the time when I played the game under UI mod, this is the starting size that I would like is only 1250. But you know, in MG and all these others, you can't do that. So we have to move on. So okay. So let's say I go to 1500. Now, considering I already had the officer, I already have the guns, and I already had 500 recruits, up to here, I had to put in 1,000 guys to get fairly good numbers and stuff like that. And so it's going to cost 8,000, and it's going to take away 1,000 of my veterans. And so now we have Kemper. And then I would make let's go with our artillery unit. Now in the J&P mod and in the vanilla game, they didn't change it, so it appears that you can have this, the same low of the artillery. So if we, so again, we're just going to go with 4 guns, because that's going to be the recruits. And that'll take 100 guys. And so we'll create that unit. And actually, I wouldn't want him. It should be him. And then we're going to go with rookies. Oh yeah, and then, okay, so as you can see right here, right, I can't go beyond 10. So if I just go to 10 and say, and that's going to take 150 veterans. And it's not going to give it to me because I got to go higher than that. So then if I go to the career and I bump into AO, put AO of 1, I can now get over here, and I think I can go to... Oh yeah, see, I was doing rookies. Okay, hold on. Oh, like I said, I'm not going to apply this. So I made a fundamental mistake. Okay, so I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it again. This is just to show the demonstration, but I screwed up. Okay, so that's why I didn't get it. Okay, so again, let's go with cable, and let's go ahead and create the artillery unit. And like I said, if I made a major mistake like that, I would then go ahead and reload it and stuff and start over. But for this purpose here, I'm just going to show again. They're only going to buy 100 veterans, so I'll go ahead and create him. Now I got to go to veteran here and then go to 10 is what it would only allow me to do. And you can see by using the veterans, I still have the first perk. Now, the reason it didn't work before is because I forgot to change the rookie thing to the veterans. So now if you look here, up here, you can see that I have those veterans and I have that. So, and then, of course, you saw me change the career to the org. So then I could go up to 14 or 15. Like I don't, like normally I just play by the old constraints of the UI mod or the base game where the magic number for guns was 12 to 14 and stuff like that, which doesn't apply now in the J&P mod. But again, I still don't want gigantic numbers. So I usually go to 15 or I usually go to, yeah, see, there's no gain more than 15. So then 15 is the cutoff at AO3. And so there it is. And again, it's going to cost another 8,000. Which I'm not paying for the gun or the officer. It's the veterans that I'm paying for.
Yes, sir.
And so let's say I did that, right? So again, and we still have 46 of these. But, and you saw me make one mistake already. So if I put SIG here to create a division, or I could come over here and get this guy here. But I think at 28, okay, so now if I didn't do historical numbers, right, and make that a 4 or 3 or 2, you know, if you wanted larger things to do this advantage in the very beginning, you know, then you would say, okay, well, I want the Mississippis. And so you would take the Mississippis, but I don't really, the reason I do this is because this way I have a lot of guns that I can choose to just make my initial units with and stuff like that. And that's all I'm saying. Like I can't, you know, whatever. So we got that. And this was just to show you in a comparison of the other campaign. Like, I'm not going to save any of this. I just wanted to show doing that. And just like if we go to here, and don't forget, right now I have the config with the normal times and the normal historical stuff. Like I have it as normal. So what I see here is real to what it would be for me at this point going forward. And so, we have Newport News. And you can see the enemy army at the current time. And we have First Bull Run and stuff like that. And if I look at this, First Bull Run is 8 units. And you can see that our allies on the first day is 15,000 and there's 18,000 up here. And if I put my 2 units in, it goes to 18 to 18, but I can come in with 6 more units. And then I wouldn't do it out of order anyways. I would first have to, I would still have to fight this one, Newport News. And Newport News is only 4 units, which this is a tough battle. And at the current time, I only have that. And we're going to have some allies and camp. All right. So again, I'll sum this up and then I'll show you the anomaly again. But all I'm saying is the only reason I do the first battle like that is so that way I can have a lot of rifles. But the big problem that we have here is we don't have officers. So we have to then buy some. And there's many ways of doing this. But again, in this campaign, like I only had 47 veterans, because it's normal, like the way it turned out, no anomaly. So now let's go ahead and load back to the North's anomaly. Again, 12,000 veterans without scrapping of any of these units. So that is completely weird, right? So again, this is right after the battle. Now I'm going to show you, and we're going to see, and I don't know, but this could maybe not happen. So yeah, let me load this. Capture the train station, MGL North 1 Phase 2. So I think this is going to be the opening, because this might have been the start of it, and then yeah. So let me. The only thing I'm going to show on here is I want to see if I can duplicate that abnormally, or will it change because of a load now? Because as I played the game, I saved it right here, and then I did that part of the battle, and then I ended up right here with that abnormally. So what I'm saying is what you see here in the order of what this is the way it went down. I first did this, and then I, because the config was changed to the 4 on historical numbers size, and so I had to do this battle, and then I had to do the first battle of the North campaign too, because in order to go forward, I have to get the config back to normal, like, you know what I mean? So you don't want to play given unhistorical numbers of each battle, because it would be ridiculous. So, but I don't know, and I never done this, so I figured I would show you all this, try to explain it in the way that I could, and then just go ahead and load this, and see if I can duplicate that problem. And I'm going to pause the game, and this is the way it looks of the way it happened. Now I don't know. I can't figure out. Yeah, and we haven't, I don't know if we had our units already. Let's see. If we have, yeah, no, we don't. So, okay, so this was the way it was. And you can see how they're big. Like, you can see, this is because the historical, but now, if I play this with the config back to normal, even though, you know, this was already a set thing that already happened, will that abnormally still happen? And I don't know this, and so I'm just going to show you this battle, and hopefully I'll not get screwed up in this and get destroyed, but either way, it's a done deal because I can then quit this and load. And you can see that this guy, Bruce, oh yeah, so Bruce is already here, so I must have saved it when I got everybody here. So that means I must have wiped out the guys over here, or maybe they're hiding somewhere over here. And so anyways, let's go ahead and just do this. Now, I don't know necessarily. Oh, yeah, because, all right, yeah, see, okay, so this is late. Okay, yeah, I just realized. This is late in the battle. I made a save with only 19 minutes left. So the train, we already destroyed the train. And so, anyways, what I'm saying is in 19 minutes, this then ended for me. So that means I'm all set right here. So it looks like maybe I can do a mass charge or something to try to get, because I only have 19 minutes. And it doesn't look like I'm having any pressure from this side. So this side must have got destroyed or something. Like if I look here, and I see somebody up here. Okay, so I got this guy up here. He's up here because maybe there was some units here and he killed them or something. So okay, so I think, yeah, so again, I got these guys beaten back. I mean, look at the, you know, like he's 2970, you know, this guy, you know, so I mean, and by this time with 19 minutes left, and that's why some of these guys are tired, because we had to push them out of the city. So now I can just say, like, why don't we just make a charge? Let's see if I tell him to go that way. Gales moves up. Loomis moves up. This guy moves up. These guys go there. Because they would be attacking us from this side here if there were any left. So I don't know if that's going to happen or not. So yeah, these are gigantic units. Come on, charge him, Milroy. I mean, I'm only doing this because it's the end of the battle, and you know, if we can capture some of these guys or do something to stop them. Yeah, it doesn't look like... It doesn't look like we're gonna get any captures. Oh well. And like I said, normally you wouldn't do this because, you know, it's going to exhaust all your units. And like I said, it doesn't really look like I'm wondering, because I can't remember. I did this like almost a month ago when I had messed around with the MG, or whenever Johnny and Panda made the MG Light. I think it was in T5 they did, and so therefore that's when I had done it. So whenever the date that was what it was. But again, we only got 6 minutes, and you know, some of my guys could get killed by doing silly stuff like this, but it's just the final stages. And I just wanted to show you that by having the config back to the normal state of redoing and then loading this where the anomaly happened, my guess is going to be that it probably won't happen. So the anomaly happened because, you know, I think the historical experience was set to a 3 or 4, and the historical size was I know was set to a 4. So you can see how gigantic these units are. And you see that these two are shooting at Milroy. And so Bruce has to get over to here. But again, we're not going to have any time, and then he could get over there like that. Come on, Skills, help out. You know, and even if my guy doesn't do that great, and he's going to lose some guys, and he's tired, but he's still going to get some melee experience from doing this. And like I said, even if you didn't screw with the config to make the historical side, yeah, see, okay. So yeah, that's it. So you can see right here, hard light. So this is MG hard light. So it's supposed to be a little lighter than regular MG, but you can judge that or not. I don't, you know, like. And again, I am not an MG player, so you got to realize that this is not my thing right here. Anyway, but I just wanted to give it a good try. But the question will be, if you look at this, and again, I just want to say that you have to realize, when I originally played this on MG Light, the config was configured so that way there would be very large units. And right now, reloading this with the config back to normal, this anomaly may not happen. But I want to see if. But this video is to show it either way. Like, did the anomaly still happen, or are we back to normal? Because I now have the config normal. So let's, not normal in difficulty, but normal as far as the historical size number, from a 4 to a 1, which is a 1 is normal. It means they're going to be whatever their original size is supposed to be. And if I put a 2 there, they're going to double. If I put a 3, it's going to triple. And when I put a 4, they're supposed to quadruple. And that's what I done, just so I'd end up with a lot of rifles. But again, okay, so I want you to just see this right here. They lost 5,000 captured. And as far as my player goes, and we could have lost it right here, but by doing this charge crap, but I killed was 596. My wounded is 18. 31. My missing is 174. So I don't know about the missing. Like maybe, you know, a skirmisher got captured, or I don't know. Maybe he just, I don't know. I can't explain that one. And so yeah. So again, okay. So let's go to goals. Let's go to units. And you can see here Walton. So now, you know, Walton took 692 losses. Scales lost 1,000. So yeah, so Scales lost quite a bit. Zook we don't get. Loomis lost 800. And this Zook here, we don't get him in Bristol, Milroy. And then Woods, 12 Napoleons. And he lost 21 and he almost killed 1,000. So at least you can see this. And if we look at the Confederates, all right, and then if we go to officers, we can see, and if we go to what we captured and rescued. So by doing the historical to 4, from a 1 to a 4, you can see that we get a lot of rifles, and that's it. It's the only reason to do it is to get a lot of weapons and stuff. And so now let's see if we get the abnormally, or does it go back to normal, because as I played this right now as a redo on the last phase of this battle, the very last phase of it, loading it with the regular config as opposed to the modified config of a 4 on size, I'm wondering if I won't get the abnormally. So let's see. Now this again is where I say, okay, so I saw this. And we get 1,746 additional recruits. And that is that. We get 2, 3, and that. So let's go ahead and go. Okay, so now this is me coming out of the battle. So let's go ahead and see. Yeah, see, I think in the other one of when I originally did it, I think I had 9,500, but now I only have 9,446. But let's see. Yeah, look, the anomaly still happened. The anomaly still happened. Okay, so all right, so then then maybe it doesn't really have anything to do with okay, so again, I don't know. Like, I don't know if Panda or Johnny can look at this and try to figure out how this anomaly happened. There is absolutely no way when you come out of the first battle that you're supposed to have like 12. Yeah, like, okay, so if I save this, right? So this would be MG Light North, and I'm just gonna say redo last phase, and I'll save that, right? So this way I can load it, because again you can see that this is all the same. You know, and you can see that he now lost 1,000 he lost 800. He lost that. Oh, no. And he lost that. So I think I did better when I originally did it. But so this is a complex thing to try to figure out. And I didn't know if it'd be of any interest to anybody. And then I don't know how to explain how it happened, because I didn't know if this would repeat it, and it did. When the config is back to historical number size 1, it's kind of interesting that, and I have nothing on historical experience. Like I have it, the default is 0. So even reloading. And then so I'm going to go ahead and load. I'm going to load back to the original, because I had loaded this, which was like 16 or 19 minutes into that last part of the battle. And I thought by having the config back to normal that abnormally would go away, but it didn't. And as you can see, if I load this again, and this is going to say, you're going to lose whatever, but I already saved it. So I'll load it one more time. So again, so again you can see that I had 10,000. So I had 10,000 recruits up here. Okay, but let's look at scales for just a minute. When I originally did, so he lost an extra 500 guys because I did that charge. And him lost 800, and he lost 900. So he still lost quite a bit when I originally did it. And then this guy, and look at, and Woods had 2,000 kills when I originally did it. And you can see the anomaly is still there, 1248. This is when I originally did it. So it's kind of a complex thing to try to figure out this. And again, if I load by me just doing this, which I showed you it. So I didn't do as good in the last 19 minutes that I did originally. Because in the other one I had 10,000. But I got 12,914 veterans. Where I should only have like 100 or something. It's kind of weird. It just means that I'm gonna have a much better start into this, without having to scrap all these. Because if I were to scrap all these, which I would have to anyways, if I was gonna do it. I won't save this. But if I were to scratch all these, and then if I show you this, I now have 2,838 veterans and stuff. So in the North campaign, that's a gigantic advantage to start with. But the anomaly happened again. So I think with that, I'm going to go ahead and just end the video here, because this was just to show you some kind of weird thing that happened. And I don't know how to explain it. So, anyways, with that, we'll go to the main menu because it doesn't matter. I mean, this was just to show you that. And again, like I said, the campaign is back set to like kind of like normal. But so anyways, and okay, so we can, like I said, you can see what this is. This is the 4T6. I call it 4T6. And like and if I go to the campaign,
a house divided against itself cannot
and if I go to, so okay, so
this
one
government cannot
so
endure
there's many things.
permanently. Half slave and half free.
I rise, Mr. President, for the purpose of announcing to the Senate that I have satisfactory evidence that the state of Mississippi, by a solemn ordinance of her people in convention assembled, has declared her separation from the United States.
Okay. So anyways, all right. So again, you can do this many ways. But if I take the one recon, because I want to have some kind of return on the weapons, but it's better to have at least 2 points or 4, but and then okay, so then the choices here are if I want a lot of recon, I could take this, get a logistics, I could, if I wanted training and reconnaissance, or if I want to just have a overall +2 on logistics and medicine, and then we could go there, we could go to training, we can go to politics, but I think I take the one, I want the other army organization, I want that advantage at the start, and so that means I'm going to get 3 in training, so when I purchase veterans, it'll be a little bit cheaper. And then, of course, you have to pick one of these. And I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to show you that, okay, so let's go ahead with, we'll say the Confederates for now. And then we go over here to MG, right? Which I'm not a player of MG. I'm mainly a player of this here. But if you go like this, there's something that comes up here. For those of you who don't want to play MG, this is now new ever since T5. And this is, and I'm using T6 at the moment, but and you can see here, Major General Light in the mod is similar to playing Legendary in the base game. Well, in the base game, I never really played Legendary. I mean, I tried it, but again, I get bogged down in it, and I just don't like it. Would you like to select a Major General Light difficulty where the AI has reduced size and experience? This is still a significant step up from Brigadier General. And so then you would say yes or no. Now, if you say no, you'd be right back into normal MG. And if I say yes, it would be under MG Light. And so that's what I did. I put my name here. And you can see the way it would have set up and stuff like that. It gives me 2 in Army Org, which, again, it's good to have some Army Org so you can max out on what you can, how many units you can bring to each battle and stuff like that. And then, you know, so I'd fill all this out and I'd go into it. So all I'm going to say is I'm just going to end the video right here. But so if you know any answers to why that abnormally happened, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, it doesn't really matter. This was just something to show some kind of weird thing happening. And so if I load that and fight that particular second battle, I mean, hopefully I can do better. So, you know, because I have a better start. And so anyways, no matter where you are in the world, have a great day, great afternoon, great evening. Please take care of yourself. Be kind to others. God bless to you and your own religion. This is your friend Jeff signing out. Adios, amigos. And adios, of course, to the lovely amigas.